So I think we probably lost him. But let's move on to the next game there. Washington at Baltimore. That's a Subway Series.
Washington at Baltimore, Tom.
Washington at Baltimore. Yeah, you go ahead and lead it off.
No, I'm here again. I think Baltimore lost a nail biter last week, and I believe who did Washington have last week?
Washington played Cleveland last week and won on the invisible fumble, which I'm still very confused about.
Right. All right, I'm taking Baltimore then. On that note, I'm thinking there's going to be some score in this one. I think it's 4 -4, Baltimore -4, but I do believe Baltimore scores, puts 30 up on the Washington Redskins, but it's a close game, 30-24 Baltimore.
30-24 Baltimore. That's ballsy. It really is, because as much as I love Steve Smith, and I think Steve Smith's an absolute start tomorrow, I got to wonder, does Josh Norman affect Steve Smith, or is it going to be something goofy where he's not even on that side anymore? Is he going to end up covering Kamir Aiken, or is he going to be on Steve Smith?
Don't forget Mike Wallace flighting down the sidelines for about a 70 or 80-yard bomb, because that's pretty much his MO over the last handful of years. He makes that one big play every game or every other game. I think he's due for one.
He probably is. I know that he caught a little bit of heat back there for that penalty. He had a celebration on a touchdown at the end of the game last week. It was a taunting call, cost them 15 yards on the ensuing kickoff, which actually led to the Raiders' drive to win that game. So I think Mike Wallace might have learned a celebration lesson as well. I'm with you. I'm taking Baltimore just because I think they're the better team, and they are at home. Not much of a travel job between Washington and Baltimore. Baltimore's probably the better team. Kirk Cousins hasn't been great. Maybe he showed us some fantasy numbers in the past weeks. A lot of those were, I remember Jamison Crowder with a quick out and busted one and added to Kirk Cousins' points, but he hasn't been great. So I'll take Baltimore in the 3.5, and we'll move into a game I actually like. I like Philadelphia at Detroit. I like to see Philadelphia after a bye a little bit more prepared, and maybe Carson Wentz shows up and lights up the Detroit Lions. Let's find out if Wentz is really good.
I think Detroit's got the 31st rated pass defense out of 32 teams, so I think there is a possibility that Carson Wentz unloads a little bit.
I think so.
I think we already know if the Carson Wentz is good.
Did you fall in a ditch?
Who, me? No, neighbor came over with some concerns I had to talk to him about. Obviously
walk around the backyard naked again at night.
I'm pretty blessed, so I feel the need.
You fall asleep in the neighbor's tomato garden?
I feel the need to walk around and show what God gave me. What can I say? But no one. Back to the football. I don't know, man. I think Carson Wentz is already good, and we're not going to find out anything against this miserable Detroit Lions team. I mean, he should handle business. I mean, anybody should handle business against the Lions. They suck. They're a bad team. So
they should. But Jack, who are you taking? You taking Philadelphia there?
You know what? I'm wondering. Here again, we've seen a week in the NFL over the last handful of years when you expect the unexpected, or you didn't see it coming, and is Detroit as bad as they are? Is Philly as good as they seem to be? I don't know. Philly's going on the road. They're a road favorite. I don't know if Philly's been in that position in quite a while.
No, the home dog, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think this Eagles team at 3-0, though, you give them the benefit of the doubt until they get beat up by somebody.
Well, yeah. No, I just, I truthfully, if I to say I would lay some money on that game in the desert, I would say no. I would walk away from that one. But for purposes here today, I think you have to stick with Philly because of what they've done so far. I don't see it being a blowout. I would see a 7-point game.
Okay. Yeah, Detroit's hung with teams. That's for sure. And you're probably right in that category. I'm thinking Philly by a touchdown. I got it too. 46 points on the over-under. That's another one that you could see 24-21 and sniff it and not get it. I'd stay away from the over-under play on that one too. But I like Philadelphia minus the 4.
Oddshark.com states 68% of the, and here again, Joe, this is just what they're stating, and I know how you feel about what America thinks, but 68% of America is leaning over the 46 number that I have on my system.
Well, they're going to make
I don't like it. That Eagles defense is actually pretty good.
Those same people are going to make America great again. So
probably, man. Let's not spend too much time on this shit bag here. Chicago Bears travel to the Indianapolis Colts. A couple years ago, this is a great game. Now it's just a snooze fest. Colts are 4.5-point favorite at home. I don't even have an opinion this game's so bad. Colts should win it, but
you know what makes me wonder about this game, though, Tom?
Is
the fact that Indianapolis was in London last Sunday. Now, normally those teams that travel to London get the bye week the following week. I don't know if that was a scheduling snafu. I don't know what's going on, but I'm curious if there's going to be a jet lag issue for those Colts come Sunday.
I think there is. I don't disagree at all. And if I read that correctly, I think this is the first time that a team coming back from a bye or coming back from a week in London has not had a bye. They're going to find out what that means, I suppose. And keep in mind, I don't think the Colts are a very good football team at all. I don't think Chuck Pagano. I know everybody respected him and loved his story, and it's a good one. But I just don't think he's that good of a head coach, and he can't keep his job just because he's a likable guy and the players like playing for him. That team, they're not doing things right, and they're not winning.
I'm a strong voice, and I think Ryan Grigson should be the one that has to go in that organization.
Yeah, he hasn't done it right.
Well, because what I illustrated the last time we talked on the show is, if you're Andrew Luck, I mean, you've invested big in this kid, and to be able to make it work, you're not doing anything to protect your investment, meaning not doing anything about an offensive line that's terrible. That defense, I mean, Andrew Luck has to go into a game with the mindset that he's got to put up 45 just to give his team a chance to win because the defense is so bad. So I think, and that falls on the GM in my opinion. I think he's the one that has to go.
Well, I think if Indianapolis plays turnover-free, they win this game. I don't know if they're going to cover that 5. I have it at 5. I don't know what you have it at, Tom.
I do too, yeah.
You have it at 5. I just, I think that jet lag is going to come into play. I think that, Andrew Luck has been notorious for fumbles or interceptions. Yeah, Chicago does have a banged-up defensive backfield that could play right into Luck's hands. That could make for a big game for T.Y. Hilton and Philip Dorsett. And watch out for that Jack Doyle. I know Dwayne Allen was the consensus.
He can't catch. He puts the ball on the ground.
Right. And Doyle seems to be his go-to guy. So I'll take Indianapolis myself. I predict about a 27-23 football game. Indianapolis does not cover.
Right in the middle. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the same thing. Joe, pick? That's a nice pick. I'm actually, since you guys, that's a nice pick though. By the way, I don't hate that at all. But I'm just going to go against the grain here. I'm going to say the Colts win this game 31-20. And I don't like really anything I see from the Chicago Bears this year at all. I don't really like much about this Colts team either. But what the Colts have is Andrew Luck, and I'm just going to go with Andrew Luck over Brian Hoyer any day of the week.
Then, fantasy implications. You're looking for a cheap DFS quarterback. Don't be afraid of Brian Hoyer. We talked about that in the Thursday night episode. Harbor Mike likes Brian Hoyer this week. I think that you still have to lean towards a more high-priced quarterback at this point. But if you want to mix in other super studs and grab Hoyer, he was pretty cheap in both DraftKings and FanDuel. But I like the Colts to win this game. I don't think Chicago is very good. Best part of that team is the Cubs. Next game up is Atlanta at Denver, out in the mountains. Tevin Coleman, sickle cell anemia, probably can't play. Probably won't play.
Terrible genetic disorder. What's that?
What do we like?
Well, go ahead, Jack.
I being an Oakland Raider fan for life, and being a proud member of the Raider Nation, I always like to see Denver lose. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened too often as of late. Atlanta going into Denver, I have it at 4.5. Tom, is that about what you have it at?
Yeah, I'm seeing it at 4.5 as well. I think that's a gift.
I do too. And here again, you're looking at it and you're thinking, how is that only 4.5? But I'm going Denver. I'm laying the 4.5, and I'm thinking Denver's offense is potent. I think their defense is just going to tear into somebody tomorrow. But Matt Ryan's been releasing the football awful quick this year.
He has.
He's done a great job. I think that there's talk that he is the front runner for MVP. But I don't think he's got enough to stop Denver. I don't think Julio's going to have a 300-yard game this week. He might he might get his 100 yards if he's lucky, but it's going to be tough for him. Tough going for him too. I see Denver putting up another 30-banger. I say they're going to hit about 34 to 17. Denver 34, Atlanta 17, going over and covering the spread.
I like it. I'm going to jump in on this one. I'm with you wholeheartedly. Last week when I was looking at our Sunday swim plays, and I had made a couple decisions, and sometimes you need to take a step back and then reevaluate. And as I look back, I saw the Denver Broncos laying 3 all the way across the country in Tampa, and I laughed out loud, and I thought, there's your play. That's the play of the week right there. Denver is leaps and bounds better than that Buccaneer team without question, especially a Buccaneer team without Doug Martin. I jumped all over Denver in so many different places. It felt real good. I was a Bronco fan Sunday afternoon into the rain-soaked evening. I think that there's no reason to think that Bronco team goes home and doesn't do the same thing to the Atlanta Falcons. This Falcon team, they had the luxury of playing fast track with a Carolina Panthers team that their secondary is awful. Awful. I'll kiss anybody's ass if Julio Jones has the same kind of day against Aqib Talib and Chris Harris. If Talib stays on the field the whole day, he's going to make a challenge for Julio Jones. I believe that strongly. I believe that enough to say that in daily fantasy plays, don't pay $10,000 for Julio Jones. You might get a 64-yard, 1-touchdown day out of him, but I think Denver whips their ass, and I think they do it handily, but they don't score a lot of points. This is probably 24-14, but it's a physical beating.
Joey?
I love Denver all day on this one. This is another one of those spreads where you think to yourself, why? I mean, like last week, same thing. Denver's giving 3 to Tampa Bay, who's not very good. I don't care if they are on the road. Yeah, I got to go with Denver. Atlanta is not the same team on the road, especially in these circumstances.
Good point.
Yeah, it's a different Atlanta Falcon team. That offense can really hum in the dome. But going out there and always that thin air, different atmosphere, something they're not used to playing inside all the time, especially when they have 2 road games even inside against the Saints when they play them. Now, I love Denver in this one.
I'm with you. Jack's with you. That's an all-around no-brainer. But, again, let's not be too surprised at the final here because a bad quarterback play from the Broncos turns out to be 16-14 Falcons. I don't think so, though. I think Denver runs the ball. I think C.J. Anderson's a nice play here. You look for the Emmanuel Sanders and the Demaryius Thomases underneath for big plays. Denver wins this game going away. They're still the best team in the NFL. Here's a piece of shit game for you. Buffalo at the Los Angeles Rams. At the Coliseum, Los Angeles hosts another home game. Let's see if the crowd is still interested even with Buffalo in town. This is another one. I couldn't care less to bet this game. It's at 38.5 over-under. When it's that low, you almost have to go under. You almost have to at 38.5. I don't know why anybody would want to go over that number. 38.5 screams 13-10 final to me.
Everybody in America picked up the Buffalo Bills defense in fantasy football after that shutout of the New England Patriots, and I see football teams here.
That's a ruse.
Struggle.
I think.
Yeah, they struggle putting points on the board. That 38.5. is looking real good to go under. I think 66% of America believes that will go under.
Yeah, there's no way you can take the overs here. And the final could in all likelihood be 27-24, and they blow it up, but I don't think so. I think this is 14-10, 13-10, maybe 12-9.
Yeah,
good old fashioned
towards the home team. You're leaning towards the Bills, or are you leaning towards the Rams?
I'm leaning towards watching something else at 4:30. I'll probably have something else going on.
My TV will be tuned in on our Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, I will too. This game's lunacy here. I would take the Rams at home just because of the road trip in Buffalo coming off of the big win against the New England Patriots. I'd take the Rams.